welcome to another episode of Electrical Theology, Esoteric Life Coaching, where we give 10-minute readings or less. Someone had mentioned, oh, this video is only 8 minutes long, so I had to say that it's 10 minutes or less, or maybe a minute over. But anyway, we talk about the supernatural, metaphysical. We tap into what's going on in the energy realms and the energy frequencies and how they play out here in the earthly realms, or this dimension. I know a lot of people like to call this 3D or 5D, but honestly no one really knows. We don't know how many dimensions there are, and why are we so low on the dimensions of only 3 to 4 to 5? Why don't people talk about fourth dimension, so on and so forth? But we get into all that conversation. But what we want to do today is we're going to give a 10-minute reading or less about what's going on in the world energetically. We'll go through each day I bring this. We'll do Monday through Friday, and we can see what's coming and going. I can tell you that there's some very big fluctuations going on, and that what we had called in the military, we call a black swan event, or there's a whole bunch of different colors and names of different animals for events that go on. I expect one of those coming up this year. As well, I want to sort of briefly touch on, and I'll do a longer video on this, not a tarot read, but one of my podcasts, is that, and it's somewhat controversial, is that the energy frequencies as we know them, the dimensions, the diamonds, ions, as we talk about, or the diamond ion that we talk about, is the frequencies are changing. What does this mean for humans? It means that supernatural abilities are going to start popping up all over the place. And the powers to be don't want that. They want to contain them. They want to make you a threat. They want to try to impose their will on you. So what I'm going to be doing is just helping the hypersensitive people, those speaking their own brand, is if you do have these abilities, to learn how to circumnavigate the powers to be, because if not, they're going to want to use, abuse, dissect you, and do what they say to help them with their agenda. So I've gone throughout all these decades and years and whatnot, circumventing those things, because to have certain abilities puts a threat on the status quo, because yes, they have their own groups of people that help them out. That's why they stay in power. But with all this new energy, this new frequency coming out, there's going to be a lot more of us than there are of them, and that threatens them. So if they can try to get a jump on it or a heads up on it, then that's what they're going to be doing. So, but we'll bring about that. That'll be one of my podcasts later. But for now, let's keep on with this reading, and also know that links, description below, all that good stuff. It does help. I'm noticing that half the people that are watching this program, only about half of y'all, or all y'all who are watching this program, only half of you are subscribed. So do me a favor right now, subscribe to that channel if you like this information, guys. And by the increase of everything that's going on with my channel, y'all do like the information. So let's get going. So immediately we get the Magician upside down. We get the Door to Romance upside down, and then we get the Temple Path upside down. All right, why all this upside down stuff, guys? Because everything's sort of on hold. When I see things upside down sometimes, the magic is on hold, just as I just explained, because certain amount of you are experiencing new fluctuations, almost like you're destabilizing. It's like your cells are coming apart, and then they'll come back together again. When you expand, there's the space between the expansion of who you are, physically, mentally, spiritually, all that good stuff, is expanding, and when that happens, it absorbs more of this higher frequency, and then it comes back in on itself. And so your container, your vessel, your flesh bag opens up, takes in new information, and then condenses down again. And then now you have to get used to and negotiate with this new frequency with your old mentality. And that's why forever we've been talking about opening up the heart, opening up the mind, and this will help you get there. So right now everything's on hold, but let's see what we can do about that. We get the Five of Wands upside down, which is good, because we're not taking a combative role. We're not here going forward to combat or compete. In one sense, it is about focusing on yourself and how can you be the best you. Now through competition, we get to know better of who we are. But in this case, we need to make sure that we're not competing from an egoic standpoint, but maybe challenging our own selves, competing against ourselves to broaden our own horizons. Right? Then we get the 10 of coins, which is good, right? This is because we're not competing, we're opening up, and that's going to allow the finances or the groundedness to come into you, or the confidence to come in and to take this next step of the superpowers we've been talking about. We get the 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords are mental compatibility, so we need to make sure that we're not competing intellectually with ourselves, but having a conversation of the heart, and then using our intellect to circumnavigate what we've been talking about. Then we get the 2 of Coins. Right? The 2 of Coins then is making a choice of with these new abilities and powers you're going to have, or have already, but they're just becoming more profound. And they will become more profound as the energy frequency shifts totally. Then we can go ahead and make that decision of which path is best for us. That being said, then we have the Cavalier, or the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is holding firm to that next step. Right? So whenever you make a choice, there's going to be a firm step that you take that then brings us to the 2 of Wands. Right? And that 2 of Wands is upside down because we haven't, that's what's coming in next. We haven't made the choice, that's why it's upside down. But we're going to be able to stand firm in that decision coming in from our foundation, or our groundedness of the 2 of Coins. Right? So let's see what the future holds. So we get the King of Swords. There's a lot of information that came through there. We're going to get the King of Swords, and the King of Swords is also upright, is in the reverse, because we're not supposed to be using the full brunt of the intellect. We're supposed to be opening up to the heart. And as I say the heart, it's not necessarily this human heart, this pump, right? This mechanical pump. It's our soul. The soul is the heart. It's the same word. And then we get the 7 of Swords. Right? The 7 of Swords in one sense is defensive. A lot of intellectual coming in. We can look at that as a 4 and 3, a 7. Fourfold man, threefold the divine, the Trinity. And so those two coming together, it is integrating the divine intellect, right, swords, divine intellect into the human thing. So that's what's happening. The higher frequencies, this divine intellect is integrating itself into our cells, into our DNA. That's giving you the superpowers, right? So the swords are like the instruction manual. And then we get the 9 of Swords in reverse coming in. So again, we don't have to fear any of this stuff, right? If you're coming in and going, oh my God, I may not know how to handle it, or you think that maybe you'll get so egotistical, or you'll get egotistical with this fear because you haven't dealt with your own stuff, that you're going to now impose your power on other people, right? This is what we're trying to prevent, is imposing our power on other people, because right now other people are imposing their power on us, or trying to impose that, what we already talked about. And then we have the Ace of Wands upside down, or in reverse, because we haven't part of this, because we don't have the fine tune of the superpower yet. And superpowers, this, we're more empowered. Our frequency that we know is going to power up 10x. Just like the financial markets, food markets, everything's powering up, and everything's costing 10 times more, 50 times more, whatever. So in accordance, our bodies are going to tune up. They're getting a tune up right now. So right now, the Ace of Ace of Coins there, Pentacles, we haven't started bringing in the money that our superpowers are going to allow us to make discreetly, right? And then finally, the outcome is the Queen of Pentacles. So we will eventually, the outcome of this reading for this Monday will be that you will get the full brunt of the superpower and be able to make a nice living with that, to help other people, to make money with it, whatever you want. And we'll do it without the ego, or not. We want the ego within us as part of us. To deny it or to look at our ego as anything less than is you still telling yourself that you're less than. No, every part of me is divine. And so when you finally open up to the divine, or the die and vine, then we can have an open communication, or a frequency exchange, or bringing up our frequencies to a higher realm. Right? That's our reading for today, guys. If you have any comments, leave them below. If you haven't subscribed right now, go ahead and do that as well. And I appreciate each and every one of you, and peace.